Hello and welcome to the podcast. I'm Onyx with my fabulous co-host here.
What's up, guys? I'm Clickbait.
And on today's special episode, we have another talented guest with us, Casey Coller, artist on the famous All Hail Megatron series, More Than Meets the Eye, Windblade, and so much more. Thank you so much for being here.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right. First question of the day. This one, sometimes people will say is the hardest question. So let's start off with you telling us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, that can be a tough question. But I live in the northeast part of the U.S. I've been drawing comics since 2008. Transformers fan since 1984. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I don't know what there is to say that people don't really already know. But
That's fair.
yeah.
Yeah, totally fair. Shall we slide into the next question? What first brought you into the world of Transformers?
Well, it was I was around when they came out. I was 7 years old when Transformers came out, and I was sold right away. Toys, comic books, cartoon. It was like it blew me away as a kid. It was really the second property that captured my interest. I was into He-Man and the Masters of the Universe before that, but once Transformers came along, it just took over my imagination, and I fell in love with it.
He-Man.
It's so
Is
fun.
that the one with the giant cats and they have little belts with panthers on it?
There's one giant cat, one battle cat, if you will. So yeah, you're
That's
on the
so
right
fun.
track.
Our next question is moving into kind of what you've been up to with the Transformers fandom, and tell us a little bit about the process you go through when you're making these pieces for comics from the start of it to the finish.
All right, yeah. Well, I usually start out in Procreate. I'll get a script if I'm doing, interiors like a full comic, or if I'm doing a cover, they'll either give me the script if it's finished, or they'll just kind of give me a synopsis of what happens in the issue, and then I'll usually start small with a very loose sketch until I find something that I'm happy with, a layout that I'm happy with. If it's a cover, I'll usually come up with 2 or 3 concepts and send them to editorial and kind of let them choose which one they like. Either way, once I have a layout that I'm happy with, then I kind of make it full size, and I'm doing my quotation fingers that you can't see because, digitally it's on an iPad screen, but the dimensions are set to 11 by 17 inches.
Oh, wow.
And so I take my loose sketch and I tighten it up into what you would usually call pencils, even though they're digital. And once my pencils are done to my satisfaction, I actually print them out on a piece of 11 by 17 Bristol paper and ink them all by hand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's
Yeah.
really awesome.
Thank you. And once they're all inked up to my satisfaction, then I scan it back into the computer and, send it along to the colorist to, fix all my mistakes and make it look pretty.
That's so fun. How has your process changed from when you first started working on comics and or Transformers to kind of how you do now, if anything has changed at all?
Yeah, it definitely has. When I first started, it was all on paper. I didn't do anything digitally. And, I would start, I do a loose thumbnail on a regular piece of copy paper, right? But once I had a layout that I liked, I would move right onto the 11 by 17 board and just kind of eyeball it. A lot of old school artists used to photocopy and blow up their thumbnails and lightbox it onto the finished
Oh,
artboard.
wow. Yeah.
But I didn't have a lightbox or a means to enlarge the thumbnail. So I just kind of eyeballed it and redrew it better on the full size page. And then, in pencil. For a short while, I used the light blue, non-repro blue, they used to call it, pencil that wouldn't get picked up on a photocopy machine.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then ink over it, by hand. I still do my inking the same way, hopefully better now than when I started, but, the same technique. But so really the digital thing came along after I was a few years into this thing. I kind of started doing my sketches in Photoshop on a desktop computer with one of the Wacom. I don't know if how you say it, Wacom.
Oh yeah.
Cintiq tablets. I saved up a lot of my money that I first got from doing this work to get a Cintiq.
Those are nice.
Which was not cheap, but it was well worth it. So I used that for a long time, but I kind of became, disenfranchised with Adobe products and whatnot. And just my daughter actually draws on her iPad, and she used this program called Procreate, which most of your listeners will probably know exactly what that is. But I was like, you know what? I think I might like that better. Have like a portable thing that I can take with me everywhere. Don't need to pay $10 a month for the rest of my life, or whatever it is now for a Photoshop subscription. So yeah, I switched over to Procreate, and that's been great. I do all my loose sketches and layouts in Procreate, and just once it's nice, I print it out on paper and ink it by hand.
That's fantastic.
That's so fun that it's evolved over the years.
Yeah, I'm an old guy, so tech isn't always something I embrace immediately, but once I see it in action, it's like, okay, yeah, this is really, really useful stuff. So
yeah. It could be challenging transitioning to a new thing.
Sure, yeah. I still haven't embraced our Alexa machine at home.
Oh my gosh.
I would throw that thing out the window if I could, but the rest of my family loves it.
That's hilarious.
She's very nosy, Alexa.
Yeah, for sure.
Who has been your biggest inspiration?
Man, it's hard to narrow it down to one person.
Pick multiple if you feel
pick
like
a couple, yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, they're everywhere. I get inspired by everything. But I'd say if I had to pick one, I would pick two. When you'll understand. I say that. Eastman and Laird, the two creators of the Ninja Turtles.
Oh, wow.
When I was young, and the Turtles first came on the scene, I was fascinated by them, and really more so the black and white comic books than the cartoon. Even kind of as I grew up, just the whole concept of coming up with something of your own and putting it out there. Like these guys worked out of a small apartment, and they published it themselves, and it just turned into this phenomenon. And it's like, it's such an absurd concept if you think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is ridiculous, but they
live in the sewer and eat pizza. That's crazy.
Yeah, but they made it amazing. They produced this incredible work of art, and it became a phenomenon because of everything they put into it. And to me, that's super inspiring, and that's something that I would love to do at some point. I have a lot of my own concepts floating around that I haven't put out there yet, but even working with a licensed property, it's just there's some inspiration that starts there. But I was a teenager in the 90s, so all of the big time 90s comic book artists, even Liefeld, inspired me back then. Getting into Transformers, like early Transformers, Andy Wildman, Jeff Sr., those two guys were incredible. Herb Trimpe and Don Perlin and all those guys too. Like I say, I could just rattle off a million names.
Well, that's amazing, right?
Try to start that, but I try to it's not even. I'm not even trying. It's like I just take inspiration from each of them. There's something about everybody's work that I appreciate, and I think paying attention to that will make me a better artist. I'm not trying to take anything from anyone's style and copy it, but I notice even the modern Transformers artists, like I look at Nick and Jack, the expressions that they do are just so vivid. So
yeah,
I don't try to draw like them, but I have that in mind when I'm drawing. Like I need to really express and emote the characters that I'm drawing, or like Alex's technical stuff, Don's technical stuff. I love a lot about what they do. So my guys are very technical. There's just so many artists that I admire, EJ, Sarah,
Yeah.
underrated Anna Malkova, I think is how she pronounces it, who did the 2019
Oh,
run, the
yeah.
majority of
Mm-hmm.
it. Like,
Yeah.
her work is unbelievable, and I think
It's beautiful.
it's kind of underappreciated. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent now.
No, go for it.
That's the whole
Just
point.
a
That's the
student
point.
of life and a student of everyone. That's the perfect summary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even outside of Transformers, I love Frank Quitely. Eduardo Rizzo is one of my favorites. He did a book called 100 Bullets, which I think it went 100 issues
Oh, that's cool.
in the early 2000s. His stuff's incredible. His layouts, like that, I try to. Again, I'm inspired by his layouts, I guess I would say. They're just so creative. The camera angles that he takes, like if he has a page that would typically be just talking heads, he
Oh,
uses
that's fun.
the environment that the characters are in to make the page totally interesting. Whereas, like, as an artist, yeah, there's something to be said for just being able to have an easy page. Again, my quotation fingers are up, but just draw a few heads and some word balloons and move on to the next page. But as an artist, you want to make every page really interesting, and he does that really well. But yeah, I guess I'll stop naming names, but there's so many artists that inspire me. Just the comic medium itself, I think, is
Yeah.
one of the most beautiful forms of expression that people create, and I just respect and appreciate it.
It's one of my favorite mediums.
Yeah.
Awesome. Glad to
Just
hear
the
it.
whole concept of art and everybody having their own style to do a similar thing is
Yes.
really so cool.
Yes, and I give IDW a lot of credit for letting the Transformers artists kind of draw things in their own style. Like, I wasn't around for Dreamwave. I read Dreamwave, but I wasn't working in comics at that point. But they had like a house style, right, where everybody kind of tried to draw in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I noticed that
But
going through
yeah,
those comics.
right. And IDW just kind of let artists be themselves. Like Hasbro, of course, wants you to stick to the models, and sometimes they're a little more, they pay a little more attention to that than other times. But essentially, they
That's
let
funny.
people be themselves, and I appreciate that.
That's so cool. I love the diversity in the Transformers comics. I think it's one of my favorite things about them is that the art style will change. And I'm like, oh, so and so did this one, and so and so did this one.
Yeah.
Like, it's so fun to tell the difference between, like, oh, this is obviously Nick Roche. This is obviously Casey Coller. This is obviously Livio Ramondelli,
Yeah.
And it
Sure.
brings in different viewers because they might like one style more, and that gets them interested, and then they'll read the other stuff as well because they're interested in the story that's involved.
Right, exactly. Like Andrew Griffith, I love his work,
Oh,
right? And he did most of the John Barber run until they kind of turned it into Optimus Prime, and then Kai Zama came on, and just like totally different style, but incredible style.
Yeah, absolutely. I think moving into our next question, moving into more of, the drawing itself, what are some characters that you find the most exciting to draw or are your favorite to draw?
I usually say my favorite characters to draw are the ones that have faces. Because, I think emoting is so important. And I think of like character, like the heart and soul of a character comes through usually in their facial expression, things like that. So, I have a lot more fun drawing Starscream than like Soundwave. Like,
Right.
listen, Soundwave is awesome. I love Soundwave, but drawing Soundwave's face, it's like a lot of straight lines, and of course you can make him emote and whatnot, but think about drawing Starscream and that sneer, that like nasty look.
His signatures at sneer.
Yeah, exactly. To me, that's fun. Like, Jazz, Blaster, just characters that have big personalities and fate. I have a lot of fun with.
That's very fair, I think. And you kind of already started mentioning it, but what are some characters that you find the most challenging to draw and kind of why?
Um, well, I guess Bayverse would be the obvious one. Um,
Yeah, that's fair.
and
That's
Getting
not
into the
fair.
details here.
not trying to throw shade at the Michael Bay movies, but I feel like those designs were executed, to be done with CGI, and they're
Hmm.
awesome for what they are. But for me as an artist, I'm somebody that likes to be very precise.
Yeah.
I don't like to fudge things.
Hmm.
So, you could take a Bayverse character and kind of like, get a few parts right and just fudge the rest, but that doesn't come naturally to me. So I'm sitting there
Right.
looking at like every detail on
Oh,
like
geez.
a character's arm, like, wait, which way does that line go? And I just get too caught up in it. So for me, that's not very fun. But yeah, I mean, there's kind of obvious stuff like crowd scenes and complex backgrounds, things like that aren't exactly the most fun to draw. But you know,
Hmm.
when I try to make the things that aren't fun to draw, like show it in a more fun way, or somehow try to. Maybe I'm just trying to get out of drawing it, but if I have a scene that has a lot of backgrounds, I'll try to, I don't know, just lay it out in a way that's more interesting. That I'm not just like, drawing boring Cybertronian buildings in a boring way. Try to
Right.
make it a little more interesting. But
Mhm.
really, it's all about the characters. That's what's fun to draw.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because that's what you're bringing to life, with these
Hmm.
comics, truly,
Yeah.
and telling their story. The second subsection to that question there is, we know Transformers have a lot of different characteristics, and, like you mentioned earlier, some of them have faces and some of them have less facial features. So what are some of your favorite ways or ways you use to convey emotion in these characters who don't have a lot of classic facial characteristics?
There's posture and body language,
Hmm.
camera angles, hands. I think heads and hands kind of are. I actually, when I ink a drawing,
Hmm.
I usually do the heads and the hands first. Some of my close friends, I've know this. I've told them this, but like again, I'm very particular about my work. If I'm going to screw something up and have to start over, like if I screw up the way a character's face looks, if I'm just really not feeling it,
Hmm.
I'm like, all right, let's just start over. If I'm
Oh
like, if
no.
I've done 90% of the drawing and then I do their face and I really hate how the face looks, to me, it ruins the
Uh-huh.
whole drawing.
Oh,
Uh,
Right.
goodness.
Now I'm talking about faces when you ask me about drawing characters without, but
It's okay.
the point was that hands are kind of a similar thing. Like I think hands can be really important. And again, if you think
Hmm.
of Nick and Jack, like look at a lot of their art and they're very expressive, and most of that expressiveness involves hands. And
Yeah, that's a
the
good
hands
point.
aren't static. All of the fingers are bent. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
There's a lot of action in there. So if you have a character without a face, you can rely on the hands a lot to show emotion. And then you have whirl. So
Oh goodness.
you got to
Whirl.
rely on those other tricks. Like again, body
Yeah.
language, and a lot of the people who have drawn whirl and characters like him, have you've seen whirl and shockwave. Like Alex was very playful with that one eye, like making it
Hmm.
Hmm.
change shape and whatnot. But still you can change like the angle of the head. Like if whirl's kind of looking, his head's kind of angled down, but you can still see part of that eye underneath, the flat part, like
Right.
the brow of his whatever, his helmet, whatever you want to call it. You can make him look kind of angry or serious.
Hmm.
There's little tricks like that you can use. But it's definitely a challenge. It's something you have to think about.
Yeah. I love hearing all the different ways that people will bring emotion into typically like a difficult place to put emotion. It's really fun.
Yeah. And there's like anime style tricks that some artists will do. I don't do it a ton, but little like lines coming off the head to show like shock or surprise,
Hmm.
things like that. Um, you know, like I say, I don't employ that a lot, but sometimes you have to.
Right. Yeah. It's cool.
Speaking of characters, Who's your favorite Transformers character and why?
Number one, anybody who has paid attention to my socials over the years will know my answer is Jazz. Jazz is my favorite.
Right on.
He was my first toy as a kid. Just like everything about him was the coolest thing I had ever seen. that Porsche was just the coolest looking car I ever saw when I was a kid. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. I want to drive one of those when I grow up, having no idea how unrealistic that was. I was 7, so, what are you going to do?
Right.
But,
right.
Watching the cartoon, Scatman Carruthers' voice,
just fantastic job.
Oh, awesome.
Unbelievably cool. Just so cool. Like, the farthest thing from, like, who I could ever be. There's a little self-deprecating humor there, but it's just so effortlessly cool, and that's just kind of never left. I always loved Jazz in every continuity. The movie was a little tough. Again, not trying to knock
Bayverse. That's a little rough.
Not trying to knock Bayverse, but
I got 2 Jazzes, but
they did him a little dirty. But yeah.
Oh, Onyx, that was a terrible joke.
I'm so sorry. I take it back immediately.
We'll allow it.
Do you have any favorites from the Decepticon side by chance?
Yeah, I always liked Galvatron.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I haven't heard that choice before.
Something about season 3, the insane Decepticon leader, just I thought it was really entertaining. And in the movie he was just straight up cool. You had Leonard Nimoy doing the voice, and a really deep gravelly voice, just a cool unique design, cool voice. And then it goes to season 3, Frank Welker voice, and I love Frank Welker's voice, but it's totally different, like high pitched, like completely insane. And I think they explained that in the fiction, where he landed in the lava pools in that whatever the planet was where they found him, and just went absolutely bonkers. And he was just so fun. So yeah, Galvatron. I love Galvatron. I love all the classics, really. But
they all have a really big and particular personality, so it's really fun.
And they're very different from each other, which is what I really enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say Scorponok, honorable mention. Again, being the old guy, the old Marvel comics. I don't know if you guys read those, but
we're getting there. That's on their list. We've gone through IDW. We're working on Skybound. Yeah. We've done Dreamwave. We've done some What If manga ones, and a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, when you get near the end of the original G1 Transformers run, I think you'll enjoy Scorponok. That's all I'll say.
I'm here for it. That's so fun. Do you have a character that you wish, when you're working on these projects, that you could draw more or include more in the pieces that you've drawn?
I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of favorites, but I think I've been pretty happy with what I've been able to draw character wise. I was able to do a whole issue about Jazz. In the Optimus Prime run.
Fantastic issue, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. It'd be fun to do some of the old like Blaster and Goldbug teamed up a lot in the Marvel comics.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Something that never really, like the way each character existed in IDW, it wouldn't really work. But things like that would be fun. I would like to draw Scrounge in a book. That would be cool.
Ooh.
I don't know if you guys you must be aware of Scrounge, yeah?
Yes,
no?
yes, yeah.
But again, I have soft spots for a lot of those older characters. But I think I've been really happy with who I've been able to draw. I really enjoy drawing Ironhide in the miniseries. Blur, the IDW Blur was a lot of fun.
He's fun.
I like him a lot. A lot of characters that I really loved. I've drawn plenty of Optimus Prime, who's just the iconic character.
Very iconic, yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't say there's anybody that I'm like, God, I wish I got to draw this character. Even First Aid, obscure character that I loved when I was young. Got to draw him in the Lost Light issue that I did.
Really enjoyed him in Lost Light.
Yeah, he was great. It was a great book.
Yeah. I have not made it through Lost Light yet, but I have been assured that
Oh,
it is very good.
It's very good.
I
Highly
think you'll
recommend.
enjoy it. Yeah,
Yes, I got to get there. I got to find time.
time is tough. You'll get
Mhm.
there.
Oh, yeah. What are some of your favorite covers or pieces that you have drawn throughout the years that you're like, oh man, I really love this piece?
Yeah, it's kind of a tough one. I think most artists probably are pretty tough critics of their own work,
Hmm.
but there are a few that I was pretty satisfied with. There was a series of covers I did on Optimus Prime for a story
Hmm.
called The Falling. It was like a 6-part series,
Yes.
and
Hmm.
for each one, do you remember the covers I'm talking about?
I believe I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like whatever character was the main focus of the issue, I basically did a silhouette of that character, like basically the shape of that character. And
Hmm.
within that shape, it was like a monochromatic
Yes,
collage
I
of the
do.
supporting characters in that issue. Uh,
Absolutely looks gorgeous each time it's done.
Yeah.
yeah, thank you. So that was kind of like, I don't know, I was inspired by another artist called Dave Johnson, who does a lot of covers. And he had done some similar things, and I was like, you know what, I like that a lot. I think I could maybe do a similar thing with Transformers. So, and I got a lot of nice feedback on them, which was good.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, everybody loves the Killing Joke. That's the one that
Classic.
Yeah,
Very
that one
classic
is
one.
that
Yeah.
one's very infamous at this point.
infamous. Yeah. It's still probably my most well-known or popular cover.
Yeah, still very
There-
sought after,
yeah,
despite
for
its
sure.
lack of existing.
That issue, when that issue came out, the guy Mario Cavone, who ran the comic shop that ordered that cover, he had me out to a convention in England, which was amazing. But he handed me a stack of those. I don't know how many copies he had to order,
Wow.
but I got I don't know, maybe 20, 30 copies, maybe more
Oh,
than that.
wow.
I don't even remember. It was 2008. That's like almost like 18 years ago or something.
Mhm.
So, I took them home and I gave them to everybody I knew, like, because that
Oh
was
my
that
goodness.
yeah, and I just kind of gave them out like candy, like, hey, look at this. This is awesome. Because it was my first published work. And
Mhm.
yeah,
Right.
I kept a couple copies for myself, no doubt. But man, if I knew what that thing would have been worth, I might have
Gone
handed
to
out a
every
few,
shop and bought them all.
yeah, a few
That
less copies.
Yeah, that cover is still that is one of my holy grails for my collection that I want
Oh,
that I don't have yet.
see,
I've
if I
slowly
still had a
been
bunch, I'd give one to you.
I've been picking away at my grails over the years
Hmm.
of collecting, and that is one that has continued to elude me.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Hmm.
I've seen them out there. Somebody had me actually like re-sign one. It was one that I sold at that, or I didn't sell them. The comic shop that was set up
Hmm.
at the convention was selling them, and I was signing them all weekend. Anyway, somebody brought one to me that was signed to another person in 2008,
Oh my
Oh,
God.
and
jeez.
that person sold it, but the person that bought it, obviously that wasn't their name on it, so I
Mhm.
kind of had to, they commissioned me to draw a little picture over it. But yeah, they are hard to come by, and yeah, some of them will have a name on it from London Film and Comic Con 2008.
Wow, that's so cool. That's one of my favorite covers you've done too, of course.
Thank
but I also love the shattered glass ones that you did.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, those were actually some of the few things that I was actually satisfied with. Because
I
love the
really
again,
like
shattered
those.
glass
They were
stuff.
really fun.
like I'm very slavish with my attention to detail, and the assignment from basically directly from Hasbro through IDW was to draw the toys like specifically. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Hmm.
I got very clear reference. So if you look at some of those covers, if you have any of those toys, like so much of the detail on those covers are in that toy. And
Mhm. Those covers made me get the toys.
oh, awesome. But yeah, one of the things I really enjoyed, specifically with the old G1 toys, because they're so blocky and boxy, is taking a static toy and making a really dynamic image of that toy. So I felt like I got to do that with all those shattered glass covers. So
Hmm.
I it was a single character with basically no background. The background was kind of like energy lightning type glass, and I guess we had like an exploding Autobot or Decepticon logo, but so I guess there was a background, but my point was that there's nothing too complex in the background, and really all I had to focus on was the character and just executing that as well as I possibly could. And yeah, most of those I'm actually very satisfied with. So thanks for reminding me of that.
Yeah, you're welcome. This was my favorite.
A perfect segue here.
All
for
right.
our next question. What are your top 3 favorite toy figures? They don't have to be Transformers related, but you get brownie points if they are.
Oh, okay. Well, I think they will be.
Rock star to you.
Yeah. I would say number 1, Generation 1 Soundwave. I think that toy is one of the greatest toys of all time. It's the perfect toy. I think Transformers are great because they're essentially 3 toys in one, right? You get a vehicle or, an animal or whatever. You get the alt mode, you get the robot, and you get a puzzle if you choose not to use the instruction. Transformers are awesome. That's one of my favorite things about them. But Soundwave is so good that he's a completely obsolete alt mode. The cassette player, like after 1988 or 1991 or whatever, cassettes were really no longer a thing. But Soundwave endures. Like I've raised 2 kids. Well, I'm in the process of raising the other one still, but they both love Soundwave, immediately gravitate to Soundwave. The what does Hasbro like to say? Like a very corporate sounding thing, like the play. What do they say? Do you guys know? It's like play pattern or something. The play pattern of being able to transform these little cassettes and insert them.
They don't use the word transform anymore. They do convert. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do convert. But it's just, I don't know, kids are fascinated with them. I have nieces and nephews that, they see Soundwave, that original toy, and it's just fascinating to them. I suppose that involves the cassettes, but I just think it's a perfect toy. Actually, my daughter even took it to college.
That's
I had a Soundwave figure that she took with a bunch of cassettes to be in her dorm room.
That's really cool.
It's so fun.
Yeah. G1 Soundwave is my number 1. What else can I say? I mean, it feels like kind of cheating to say G1 Jazz, but I will throw that.
I mean, it's your interview. You decide.
Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful toy. There's like almost no articulation from the chest down, but you don't need it. I think it's a beautiful toy. I think it's like perfection because I'm old and that's okay. But another one I'm looking at right now, and I'm going to give Bayverse some points right here after taking some unintentional shots earlier. Are you guys familiar with Night Watch Optimus Prime?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of like bluish, blue and black, multiple shades. I have
that one.
You do, yeah. The blue,
I
the
don't
black,
have that
the gray,
one.
The flames, and that first Bayverse Optimus Prime, I think, was so much fun to transform or
very fun
convert back and forth.
Technical here.
I think the subsequent versions of live action Prime were so much more complicated and fiddly.
Yeah, I noticed that.
To go back and forth. I had the one from the second movie and
what's going on there?
Got rid of it. And it's just too fiddly. But this one I think is the perfect amount of action going on when you transform / convert.
And it's hefty. It's large. It's sturdy. It's not loose, which is really nice.
Yep, it's bulky. It's posable, and I love the look of it.
Very fun.
Yeah, I guess that would fill out my 3.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Moving on to the next question is, do you have any side projects you're currently working on that you can talk about? If you don't, totally okay.
They're all top secret. No,
we get that answer a lot. We get that answer a lot. That's why we add that clause, like that you can talk about, because we get that a lot. Yeah.
Well, I will admit that I'm lying. So
we got it recorded. We got him.
Yeah. No, I don't. I'm working on actually, I'm hoping, I mentioned Eastman and Laird earlier, being an inspiration. I'm kind of in the development stage with some friends of trying to get my own thing put together here. I'd love to get a creator-owned thing off the ground. So I'm putting some energy into taking some of these concepts that we've been sitting on for years and figuring out how we can do something with them. So I'm putting a lot of time into that. And there's a couple of like private commissions that I've been working on. And that's mostly what's been taking up my time.
Well, whatever you decide to create, you've got our support. We'll definitely pick up whatever you decide to put together.
Exactly.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And if it comes to fruition, I will be spamming all the social.
Oh, we'll
Look forward to
repost the
it.
heck out of it.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course.
I'll push us along to our next question now. I hear this one's a toughie. What is something no one knows about you that you wish more people did know?
I would say, I don't know if this is where you were intending to go with this, but I discovered a while ago that I suffer from a condition. I think this is a kid-friendly podcast, so I'll say resting bee face. I'm guessing that gets the point across, but it's funny, like when I go to shows and stuff, I love talking to people that come up to the table. You know, I don't want anybody to feel nervous or intimidated about coming up to the table, but somebody's told me before, like, oh, I was going to come say hi, but you looked really, really upset or something.
Oh, no.
But,
Oh, no.
I think when I'm deep in thought or just kind of concentrating or something, I tend to, I don't know. I think I tend to look maybe a little too serious. But so something I would like people to know, like, don't hesitate to come up and say hi. Like, I really enjoy talking to people. And besides the RBF, I had people say, just that they were too nervous. They messaged me like, oh, I was going to come say hi, but I was too nervous. Like, yeah, I respect how everybody feels. I'm not trying to tell you how to feel, but from my perspective, like, please don't be nervous. I'm always happy to talk to people. If you have questions, if you want me to look at your portfolio, if you want advice, even if you want to, just make casual conversation, like, don't hesitate to come up and say hi. I'm always happy to talk to you, even if I might look like I'm not.
Just walk up. Why so serious?
Yeah, you can do that. Please do that. But I will tell you, I'll share this with you. The moment of realization I had where I was like, wow, this is real. There was a camping trip I went on years ago, and I was sitting in a lawn chair. The weather was perfect. We had live music playing. My daughter was sitting right next to me. I was just so content, so happy, just, serene environment and everything. And somebody took a picture of the group of people that I was with. And I looked so angry. This person was like, why are you so upset? But I was oh my God, it's real. Like, I saw photo evidence. I think in that instance, like, it was around sunset. So the sun was probably a little bit in my eyes. I might have been like squinting, and maybe that made me look angry. But, that was kind of like, oh my God, wow. This is something I need to be aware of. So, trust me.
You heard it here, listeners.
Yeah. I'm not mad, I promise. Not that I never get mad, but at cons, don't hesitate to say hi. I promise I'm not seething at my table.
Need like a little sticker on your vest that says, "I'm friendly, I promise."
Yes.
Or won't bite, I promise.
Yeah. Will not bite.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun. I think we are slowly coming towards the end here of our Q&A. So one of our final questions we have is, do you have any questions for us? If you don't, again, fine. But if you do, now's your chance.
So, all right, let me ask you guys, what is a moment in fiction, same as you said to me, Transformers preferably, but, go outside of it if you want, but something that made you feel something? What's a moment that made you feel something?
Oh my gosh, that's a really
I
hard
don't
question.
think we've
Yeah,
ever been
sorry about
asked
that.
this question.
No, you're good. Nobody's ever asked us this
I'll
before.
tell you why I'm asking, so you can think about it. Like that's when I'm making comics, and I would assume that most of the people that do what I do, you want to make people feel something. You want them to have a reaction. And of course, not every issue is going to be like a big reveal moment that's going to, resonate forever. But, that's kind of like a big part of the motivation. You want people to feel something. So, yeah, what's something that made you feel something?
I think I really enjoyed. Now, this is going to be spoiler, so please go read Lost Light, but spoiler warning.
All right.
I really enjoyed the moment in the Lost Light series where Rodimus is giving his speech to his crew while they're all holding like a version of the Matrix. And he's like, yeah, some of us are not great people, but, what matters is like what our strengths are and how we take care of each other. And each of us are unique in our own ways, and not everything is going to be perfect and all that. So that was really fun to read and watch. It's like everyone's in doubt because they can't open their matrix, but then after he gives that speech, they believe in themselves a little bit more because that's what they needed.
Yeah, awesome. Love that.
Gosh, I'm recently, since being on the podcast, I'm getting more into these comics, but I watch a lot of, shows and I read a lot of books, and I'm very much like, anytime a character dies, it hits me really hard. And so I think I remember watching the movie finale of Transformers Prime, the Predacons Rising movie, when Optimus finally goes and he ends up giving himself up because he had to take in, the Allspark to protect it from this crazy version of Unicron Megatron. And he's like, no one else gets to live if I live. And so I just remember I was bawling my eyes out like the entire time. And Optimus has this ability. They write him with these such profound speeches that they hit you in the feels, and then he like does something sad, or he does something that really pulls at your heartstrings. But at the same time, like, you want to resent him for this, but you can't, because it's just so altruistic, and it really makes you like stop and think about, what's going on. And and then on a totally different flip side, I remember the end of season 2 in Transformers Prime. So I'm sorry, I'm a big Transformers Prime fan, so it's always at the front of my mind.
Haven't noticed.
Nothing wrong with that.
Where they go and it's like right in starting into season 3, and they go to Cybertron and they do the whole Omega Lock thing, and they come back, and the space bridge portal just spontaneously opens, and through it just emerges Shockwave, and all the characters just like, oh no. Oh, this is bad. Like, this is worse than anything we face at this point. And like the angle of the camera is just so dramatic. And it really just puts the, like, you're like, oh, and I thought this was bad up until now.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know. I always love, it's so easy for me to relate, because the artists do all this, and the writing and the voice actors, and they just convey everything so well. I'm just like, oh my God.
That's awesome. Good choices. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for that question.
Yeah, sure thing.
All right. Final 2 questions. Here's a trick one. Where can listeners find you? Hopefully your social media, not your address.
Address is...
Bleep.
I am still in the bad place that I will still call Twitter.
We knew immediately what.
I refuse to call it X.
Exactly.
Yeah, same. It's definitely still.
Yeah, and Twitter's a dumb name too, but at least it doesn't have the same connotation as X. But anyway, enough of that. So I'm on Twitter under my real name. I think it has a W in it. Casey W. Coller. Instagram, I think you can just punch my name in and it'll pop up. But the handle is CWC_artist. Very clever name I came up with. And also, I'm also on Blue Sky, same handle as Twitter. I'm on other things too, but I literally never check them. So I think I still have a Tumblr and I have a Facebook account that, aunts and uncles are on and stuff. What else? There might be something else that I'm forgetting, but really the three I mentioned are the ones that I'm mostly active on.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. And listeners, will include those in the descriptions below. Click that. You have our final question.
All right.
Our final question of the night is, do you have any words of wisdom or something special you would like to say to the listener? This can be anything.
I mean, that would imply that I'm wise. So
we're all wise in our own way.
Yeah. I guess I'll just say, for anyone who's followed my work, thank you. Like it really means the world to me that, I think anybody who does this sort of thing, it's like, it starts off as a dream and, make it like the fact that anybody, cares to see the things that I draw is like amazing, because when you're first starting out, you're just sort of learning as you go. And I guess that would sort of segue into the other thing I'd like to say is like, if you'd like to do this sort of thing or really anything, like if it makes you feel good, if you're passionate about it, like keep at it because you can get there. And, it takes like an unbelievable amount of dedication, like the hours that I spent at my drawing table, like drawing throughout my life. I couldn't even tell you how many hours it was, but it's because there was a drive inside of me to do it. And so anybody else, if you have that drive, embrace it, respect it, embrace it. And keep working at it and you can get there.
Fantastic. Awesome. Wonderful words.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Well, that's the end of our Q&A. Thank you so much, Casey, for joining us. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you interviewing me. So thank you. Of
course. And until next time, listeners, till all are one.
Till all are one.
Till all are one.